I experienced something troubling, at the same time humbling. You see, for every red light, there is a green light. I could have had the same experience in another country, but I didn't. I had this experience and awareness in Kuwait. Let me tell you, I knew little about Kuwait, and that in which I knew was only influenced by Australian TV media. It was back in 1990. It was during the Gulf War. All I was aware of was it was part of an invasion and the beginning of the war, something to do with oil. I still understand little about this invasion, except now I have seen and been to a ridiculously small area, Failaka Island, which has become a tourist destination, a place which still holds the scars of that time in 1990. I also found out that Kuwait is one of the richest countries in the world at that time. Its dinar, one of the highest valued unit of currencies in the world. And Kuwait has the highest number of external labor per capita. Here is where my experience begins, but first allow me to include this excerpt from this article from the HRW.org World Report 2019. In 2015, Kuwait issued a new standard contract for migrant workers, and a 2016 administrative decision allowed some migrant workers to transfer their sponsorship to a new employer after 3 years of work without their employer's consent. However, these reforms do not include migrant domestic workers. We are now in 2022. This is when my knowledge of what was happening started to open up in front of me. I arrived at the dead of morning, which is right. I went to Kuwait for business, was led to believe I would have a visa ready on arrival so I could commence my 12-week teaching project educating English as a second language for a company, for an English school, a reputable English company I was keen to collaborate with. It was stupid o'clock. The time organisations have you arrive when eyes are on other things, when they are doing things they do not want others to see openly. However, here I was met by Sam and escorted to get my visa. Walk in the same direction was over 40 migrants. They looked tired and glum and even confused. I would not have known the reason for their visit or entrance if it had not been for Sam's explanation. He told me they come to work in various domestic jobs. Fast forward, the first few days, the settle-in period, I notice I haven't had contact with one Kuwaiti. That all meetings were with the Filipinos, the administration Filipinos, my accommodation manager Filipino, drivers Filipinos, Indian, or Sri Lankan, or other non-Kuwaitis. School manager, I'm not 100% sure, she may have been Kuwaiti. The teachers, my co-workers, Filipino, Egyptian, Cyprian, Russian, South African, British and Australian, just to name a few. The help at the villa, as they were called, with an all-female residency of over 60, they were called help. A horrible title, but that is how they were referred as. I would not. I made it my job, out of respect to them, to remember their names. So, really, I have described multiculturalism, really. It would be seen like that in Australia, an array of nationalities, ages, cultures, and skills. That is until you watch, until you see, until you observe. And while you do this, you remember Evelyn's words. You remember these words while sitting, telling her you were going to Kuwaiti, in her kitchen, in our village, in Italy. She says, they're treated so badly. My sisters, they have their passports confiscated. They have no rights. I did not want to believe her, yet she was right. Her Filipino sisters knew what was happening. I too now know what is happening. They're expected to work long hours, up to 12 hours, up to 6 days a week. They're underpaid and kept in poverty, paid 100 to 200 dinar a month. If they're lucky, do your sums. They have no right to leave, no rights to roam freely. They can't. They're locked in villas under surveillance. They're allowed out perhaps one day only with a curfew. They are abused and raped by employees. Their documentations are confiscated and locked away. They have no maternity rights. In fact, after the birth of a child, they are expected back at work after 1 week. The mind tries to reason, it makes up stories, and it begins to justify until you say, stop. I cannot beat a system, but I can do something for those near to me. So I give clothes, I give coffee, I give blankets and bedding. The things I can do without, the things I can afford to be without. At night, I kneel down and pray. In the morning, I meditate and ask for guidance and strength. I walk into work and treat them like my sisters. At school, I am the educator, and for what it is worth, my students will learn by example. It's now 2023. I have been back under a year, 9 months to be exact. In the airport, there are still lines of Filipinos and migrants arriving. At the embassies, there are people, human beings, flesh and bone, who hide and fear for their lives. Nannies continue to be abused. Domestic help are continued to be kept in poverty. A population of migrants are kept in fear. It is 2023, people. The World Human Rights Who cares little. Money flows in the hand of the rich, and the blood of those who need support flow from their veins. I'm not asking to change or save the world. I'm asking that we stop turning a blind eye. I ask that all of us go live on all platforms available to you and spread the word, hashtag stop human trafficking, hashtag stop Kuwait. Share your stories, not somebody else's. Support the rights of those wanting better lives and opportunity. Share your experience live on any platform available to you, and spread the word. Hashtag stop human trafficking. Hashtag stop Kuwait. Hashtag stop